Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. I'm a pharmacist. I own 52 units of real estate and I help coach people to buy their first multifamily deal. So if you're interested, click on the link tree down below. From there, you see my links. Anyways, today's I want to talk about purpose. So I was listening to a podcast about purpose on modern wisdom, and it kind of got me thinking about purpose and how I kind of went through multiple identity changes, multiple identities, if you'd call it. And I did a video about this already, but for me, it's quite interesting. So on the podcast, they said that people nowadays, so I think millennials, Gen Zs in this category, I'm a millennial, um, purpose has been a big topic, right? Because a lot of people, like especially millennials and Gen Zs, they don't go to church as much, which used to be a form of community, which used to be a form of purpose. So that's your community, your tribe, or used to be part of like a sports league, whether that's basketball, bowling. I think that has declined as well. And, there's so much access at home. Like, you don't have to go to the movie theaters anymore. I can literally watch at home on Netflix. I don't have to go to the mall anymore. I can literally just order clothes online and have it shipped to me. I don't even need to go to a grocery store anymore because I can get shipped to my house free of charge. And even Uber Eats, you don't even have to go to the restaurant anymore and interact with people. So it makes it very convenient in this day and age to just stay at home and you're entertained. So there's kind of this loss of community. And I think as a result, you don't know your neighbors as well. I'll be honest, I don't really know my neighbors that I live in, the community that I live in, versus back, in the old days, you would kind of know who your neighbors are and what they're about. So there's just lack of sense of community and purpose. So because of that, in my opinion, I think humans are very purpose driven. So we have to attach our purpose to something else. And I think what people are starting to attach their purpose to is work. So they're expecting work to fulfill all their needs and all their purpose, right? And also you might have fewer friends and now you're attaching them to fulfill a purpose for you and all that. And I kind of fell into this trap where I expect my wife to be my best friend, to be my mentor, to be my coach, to be my co-investor in real estate, to be, take care of the house with me. People are expected to do multiple things, and it's setting things up to fail. It's setting up relationships and marriages to fail. And same with friendships. They expect your friend to be everything, right? Your coach, same thing. You're expected to be every single role. And I think back in the old days, back when we lived in communities and tribes, you didn't need your husband or wife or best friend to fulfill every role. They just could fill a role, right? So you might have one person who's your mentor, one person who's your coach, one person who you can talk to about financial advice, one person you can talk to about real estate, one person you could talk to about something else. So yet, the roles were diffused across many different people. So because of that, like I said, people are heavily tying themselves to their jobs. They expect their job to fulfill every single need they have and to give them a sense of purpose. But as I've shared in my story, I used to be that way, but for better or for worse, I got laid off one day, and that shattered my identity. That shattered my purpose. I thought my purpose was to be a pharmacist and to move up the pharmacist ladder. But after I've achieved, the pinnacle of pharmacy, being a pharmacy director is pretty high up there. I was laid off, and it shattered my identity as a pharmacist. So then I pivoted over. I shifted my purpose from being a pharmacist over to being a real estate investor. And because, things are going well with real estate, and then all of a sudden I got slapped in the face with my mobile home park. I got slapped in the face with my, mobile home park. So, at that point, my identity as a good real estate investor was shattered. And I just realized, well, that's the part of the journey. Unfortunately, in real estate, you have some good deals, you have some bad deals, and hopefully you have more good deals than bad deals. And if you do, then overall, you should build wealth. If you have more bad deals than good deals, then overall, you'll lose wealth. So for me, that kind of shattered my identity as a real estate investor. And then I pivoted over to be an entrepreneur, and quickly that got slapped too. I tried an e-commerce drop shipping store. I tried opening my own pharmacy, lost on both, got slapped in the face. on those. So now, as a result of all of this, I don't attach my identity or my purpose to something anymore, right? Like, I don't attach my identity, my purpose to being a pharmacist, to being a real estate investor, to being a influencer or YouTuber, right? I just attach my identity to something more ambiguous and vague, and a kind of a core value of just learning, wanting to learn and being curious. So if I were to break it down, that's me in a nutshell. I'm very curious, and I like to learn. And I like to share what I learned as a way to reinforce what I learned and to kind of hone in on the concept. So if I tie my identity and purpose to that, everything else doesn't really matter in a sense, right? Like, yes, I'm working as my pharmacist job. Am I learning? Am I curious still? Yes. Great. For real estate, am I still learning? Am I still curious? Yes. Great. In my entrepreneur journey, am I still learning? Am I still curious? Yes. Right? So all that checks off. But the moment I feel like I stop learning, or I feel like I'm not curious about something anymore, then maybe it's time to like move on to something else. But my identity still stays the same. It's somebody who just is curious and likes to learn, right? And to really push myself to see what I'm capable of, right? That's really what it is, and why I do so many things. And that's why you see people who do many things different well. Like, if you look at it, like, you can look at The Rock, right? He started off in football, didn't work out, went to WWE, did very well there, and then he went to movies as an action star, and then now he owns like this like tequila business that's worth billions, right? So he slowly stacked his skills and trade up over time, right? But he never really his identity, if I were to think about it, was like, yeah, growth and like pushing yourself. So that's really what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to not attach myself, because I can just see it at my job, where like I can tell people are so tied to their job that if they were to lose this job, they'd be shattered. And I know, because I was there. And for better or for worse, I was laid off, about 7-8 years after I started my pharmacy career, and I'm grateful for that happening, because it gave me this clarity I have today, right? And it allowed me to pivot my identity to real estate, to build wealth, to now gain financial freedom, and then that allowed me to pivot into entrepreneurship, so that I could make a source of income that's not tied to being a pharmacist, right? Not being tied to a W-2 job. So I'm grateful for the fact that my identity was shattered. It needed to be shattered so that it could open myself up for the next opportunity. That's why I said in my videos, my laid off video, my fired video, that they're my top 2 performing videos for some reason. When one door closes, another door opens. So my pharmacy door kind of closed, real estate door opened, entrepreneurship door opened, right? And now I've built up a net worth where I don't even have to work my pharmacy job anymore. So that's kind of the key thing. And how do you know someone is like super their identity is super in their job? Well, number one, they have too much of an ego, right? Like, and you can tell, like, we all know this in the W2. Like, they don't take any criticism well. They get super defensive. They think they're the best at their jobs, and they think that the organization cannot survive without them. But I've thought that way too, and it's very humbling when you get laid off and you realize that, wow, the hospitals that laid me off, they're still up today, right? And they're running just as well, or if not better, or slightly worse without me, right? And that's the whole point of an organization. It's a living, breathing organism where it could survive with or without you. It survived before you, it'll survive after you, no matter how important you think you are. So I've always taken that kind of humility with me, and thinking that, what, this place will survive. Even my current job, it will survive without me. It survived before me, it'll survive without me. And a lot of people don't think that way. So I can really kind of see, I'm like, wow, this person ever experienced a layoff, they'd be shattered. They would be shattered. So that's why I said now my identity is like on just focusing on growth and being curious, and, getting better a little bit every day. So as long as I can stay that habit mentality, as long as I can still think that way, then, things will be good for me. So, so it was quite interesting hearing that in the video. And then, like, for me, I don't go to church, right? I don't really know my neighbors as well. Even though, like, there's a sense of community. And then, so I did notice that I had very, very high expectations of my current wife, which she met. And then even looking back at my past relationships, like, they might have failed because I expected too much out of them. I wanted them to be like my bros. I wanted them to be ambitious. I wanted them to be like a person who's caring and takes care of people and myself. And it was just too unrealistic to have all the expectations on one person, on one thing, whether it's your job or whether it's a relationship. So it's quite interesting, like, hearing that concept and then, like, for me to connect that dots. So anyways, hopefully you found value from this video. Hopefully it's kind of rewired your mindset a little bit about purpose, so that you don't tie it to your job, and you don't tie it to like one person, because that's too much pressure. But anyways, if you want to learn to buy your first multifamily deal with some coaching, some guidance, click on my link tree down below. From there, you can get a link to my link tree. From there, you can send me an email for a discount code, or you can learn more about the mentorship program. Anyways, hope to see you in the next one. Please like, comment, subscribe, and hope to see you next one. Thank you so much.